Hey guys, if any of you are new here, my name is Milo, and I create this little series on YouTube called Transformers Archives of Cybertron. My most recent episode, episode 5, was in production for about 6 years due to my struggle with perfectionism and the overwhelming amount of work I decided to give myself. Basically, I wanted to take a moment to share all the details and work I put into this episode because I think a lot of it is really cool and I'd love to share it with all of you. I think episode 5 deserves more mileage since you guys were waiting for it for so long. And finally, I believe that you should love yourself and be a fan of your own work. Plus, I'm only human. Someday, I could forget all of this, and I think that would be sad. This video is being released at the same time as another video, Megatron vs Autobots with no music. I made this version for the ease of this video's creation, but I thought why not also share it. Now, this isn't an obligation, but I did want to put out there that if you wanted to use this version and add your own music to it for fun, I am more than happy for you to do that, and I'd love to see what you come up with. Now, onto the video. We open the episode with the sound of Godzilla charging up his atomic breath, which, given what happens to Melbourne, I think is a fair comparison. We see the episode's title, Gladiator, and then we see it go from black to red. This could mean whatever you want it to mean, but I'd say the word becomes corrupted by Megatron's impending return is a good blanket statement for all those other meanings. Megatron being blown back by Nomacon's explosion and then landing in an illegally dumped deposit of dark energon seems pretty outrageous and contrived. But what if I told you this was the best fix I could do, and my original version from 8 years ago actually contained something even worse? For those who have seen episode 5's deleted scene, you'll know Death Eagle was looking for a shard of dark energon. In the original script, it is implied that Death Eagle has spent 30 years randomly dropping shards into random parts of the ocean, hoping that it would somehow land perfectly into the hole in Megatron's chest. Now that is bullshit. I had planned to include a sign saying radioactive material dump site, stay clear, in order to explain the dark energon's appearance. But with my losing battle with my own perfectionism, I was dreading having to sync this sign prop up with the waves, so I ultimately left that idea behind. A minute and a half into the episode, we hear dialogue speaking about Prowl, and how no one but Ultra Magnus has ever seen him with the same desk for more than 2 days. This is a reference to Prowl from IDW, who is infamous for his tendency to flip the nearest table when he doesn't get his way. Where's Optimus? At 2 minutes 45, we hear the Transformers Prime motif as Axis and Cadaver begin talking about Optimus.
Buried with Prime.
Missing in action, sir. But if you want to believe they're dead, that's fine by me.
Fun fact, this scene really wasn't working for me until finally I came back to it after a year, and added this track. Now it's one of my favorite moments in the episode, yeah. Cadaver bringing up Prowl wanting Optimus to leave Earth is a hint that Optimus has actually gone AWOL, redefining him and his soldiers as members of a rebellion.
Optimus is the reason we're still in this war. If we had just gone back when Prowl ordered us to, I wouldn't live my life as a criminal.
Sir, with all due respect, it's been a long day and I've got more important things to do than be your pacifier. So how about you hush up and let me do my job?
When Axis says pacifier, he is not referring to alien technology that calms robots down. He is in fact referring to the thing babies suck on so that they don't cry.
Stop fucking crying, bitch! Where? I don't wanna fucking hear it!
Sergeant Buckshot wasn't in the original script for episode 5.
Commander Cadaver, sir.
His voice actor Biomega actually recorded additional lines when I asked my Discord server to send me lines of them saying hut hut hut. My intention was to mix all these lines together, but due to so much variance in speed and mic quality, I decided to leave it alone. However, Biomega's lines were so shockingly good that I couldn't not include them, and thus Commander Cadaver gained a new right-hand man.
I don't see enough movement! Turn hot! Get your ass back in line, soldier!
The names of these 3 Autobots have totally different origins from each other.
Cheesewall, Bandersnatch, Frederick Jefferson, get your asses over here and bring your friends as well!
Cheesewall was literally the first thing I thought of in my head. Bandersnatch was named after Netflix's Bandersnatch, and Frederick Jefferson is taken from a video from Achievement Hunter when Trevor Collins, playing as a murderer, tried to lure out the last survivor by creating a friendly persona.
Oh, it's just me, Frederick Jefferson. There's nothing to see down here. Just come on out. Come on out now. Everything is fine.
At 4 minutes 30 seconds, Cadaver begins to struggle, grasping at his neck as if something is happening to it. Then moments later, we are bombarded by images that foreshadow his fate by the end of the episode. The haunting feeling of a shadow or something's behind you. And proper look at his arm and head being cut off while he's behind him. You can see Megatron's time. Then Megatron's getting closer until Megatron's engulfed him. And he's dead. But more on that later. When Megatron is in the distance behind these aircrafts, the sky slowly becomes more stormy as he approaches. You can see it easier when it's sped up. When Megatron crash lands due to engine failure, I wanted to show that while he may be damaged due to being in the ocean for 30 years, he can still react fast enough and stick the landing to look cool while doing it. What do you guys think? Megatron casts a shadow over the Autobots thanks to the storm he brought with him.
Does anyone know what 122 times 0 is?
122 is an official kill count.
Exactly.
The use of the word exactly was actually a reference to my Discord server, where the word found an exceptionally large amount of use for a number of years. On a conceptual level, Megatron's return was directly inspired by Transformers Prime, where he makes his entrance in the first episode. Alongside that, I was inspired by Alucard's return in Hellsing Ultimate. And finally, as you could probably guess, Thor Ragnarok's bridge fight was also an inspiration for this sequence. When Megatron pulls out his blades, this was loosely based on the motion Gypsy Avenger uses in the Pacific Rim Uprising trailer from 2017. Unfortunately, I was hyped for this movie at the time. What a shame. The sound of Megatron's blade is from a Hive Knight's sword from Destiny 2. I loved the way it sounded. That's it. Megatron replicates the famous Optimus Prime pose from the 1985 Transformers movie, only flipped. At 45 seconds, we hear the sound of a Jawa from Star Wars saying, "Houdini." This was actually a special request from one of my friends at uni, because he thought it would be funny. Shout out to you, Sean. Megatron's "Come on" onomatopoeia is most likely a reference to Spider-Verse. These scenes where Megatron seems to enshroud his opponents in some kind of void was actually created out of laziness. This spinning shot had a background, but it wouldn't line up quite how I wanted it to, and I began to enjoy it more and more when it didn't have a background. So I made a decision that ultimately saved me a lot of time and fueled my creativity and let me have more fun. More on this later. Megatron's character has a number of inspirations, most notably Kratos from God of War, Alucard from Hellsing Ultimate, Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming, and Batman from Batman. Many of these characters are strong characters who radiate an unstoppable aura, whilst also sharing another quality, acting as a parental figure. Megatron in my series is like a dad who wants to push you into being the best version of yourself. So when this guy actually goes in and fights Megatron, even though he's scared, Megatron appreciates his bravery and wants him to know that he's proud of him.
Good job.
Before he snaps his neck. Megatron's use of the crane hook as a weapon was inspired by Bumblebee's use of it in 2018.
You think these little chains can hold?
7 minutes and 42 seconds, you can hear the Metal Gear Solid alert sound when Megatron realizes he's about to get shot in the face. When Megatron slices at this lady, for a few frames you can see that Megatron actually got both her arms and her head. Brutal. Now also seems like a good time to talk about Megatron's weapons. Instead of being equipped with his fusion cannon, Megatron is equipped with 2 fusion rifles that also act as his melee weapons. While this decision was not consciously made by a little boy named Milo 10 years ago, that same boy grew up and realized their potential for fight choreography, especially after being introduced to the Ruby Red trailer by the late Monty Oum. A true legend. This scream comes from Slamsicle's Elden Ring playthrough when he decides to become an NPC.
An enemy. Maybe I should try stealth.
I got permission to use it in this film from him and his team, and the rest is history.
Whoa! A shortcut! No. Damn it! Damn it! Holy fuck, dude! Jesus Christ! that was a good death rattle. Oh my god. I did a better job at that than I thought I would. Oh my god. Oh, okay. All right. Bit's over. Please clip that. Please clip that. It's gotta go on. It's gotta go somewhere.
Additionally, you can see for a frame that this soldier's head splats against the container. This soldier had 3 flat blue studs attached to him in order to create the holes that Megatron would have shot through him. Megatron's movements with the crane hook were inspired by a rope dart trick shot video by Kuma Films.
Come on, come on.
When this soldier doesn't split apart immediately, this is a reference to, you know, all those moments in anime and media where someone, you know what I'm talking about. Megatron's confrontation with the Autobot dropship was heavily inspired by a moment from Clone Wars 2003, when General Grievous comes face to face with a Republic gunship. This moment with the pilot references this scene from Transformers: The Last Knight. When Megatron goes to punch this guy, if we slow it down, we can see the background is reflecting the power of the punch, closing in at the same time as his fist. Additionally, the impact frame of the punch shows that Megatron has done the robot equivalent of shattering every bone in his body, and then his red line going through his head is both a reference to Gohan during the Cell Saga from Dragon Ball Z, as well as a reference to the first guy who died from the crane hook. I think it's time for the explanation I've been hinting at. What's the deal with these scenes? For those who watched this episode with subtitles, you might have seen that both this scene and Cadaver's little freakout had this subtitle, The Premonition of Death. Basically, taking inspiration from comics where Megatron had that out-of-nowhere black hole ability, which was cool but a little wacky, AOC Megatron passively generates an aura where if he intends for you to die, you suddenly feel that shit in your entire body. The more he focuses on you, the more you feel it, and Cadaver being the most different looking bot in this entire squad meant that Megatron had his eyes on him the entire time, hence his early premonition. Let me know what you guys thought this was in the comments. I'm curious how well this idea came across to all of you. Also, with Megatron stretching here, I'd like to call attention to one of my favorite sources of sound effects, sci-fi weapon reload sounds. So good. This whole sequence, despite being very visually similar to the Premonition of Death, actually takes inspiration from Toph's earthbending vision from Avatar: The Last Airbender, as it depicts a similar process of Megatron understanding his surroundings. At 12 minutes and 42 seconds, we can see a frame where numerous Megatron after images are seen on screen. Though the purpose was to fill in space with explosion light, I cannot deny that I was thinking of Diavolo in JoJo Part 5 in this moment. At 13 minutes, Megatron does what I've dubbed as the inverted coin flip. And you may recognize the sound that plays during the clip as one from the fight between Shifu and Tai Lung from Kung Fu Panda 1. When Bandersnatch dies, the sound of the explosion came directly from the Battle of Coruscant in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. At 14 minutes, Buckshot delivers a line that was ripped straight out of Red vs. Blue Season 15.
Killed them! All of them! You son of a bitch!
You murdered them. All of them. You son of a bitch!
Buckshot's fate actually mirrors War Woman's fate in Invincible Episode 1. I wasn't consciously aware of this, but my friend Malik pointed it out, and honestly, I think he's right. They are so similar that it had to have inspired me subconsciously. While recording the sounds of Buckshot gargling on his own blood, Biomega actually gargled water next to his microphone. The amount of dedication from this man astounds me. It's a little hard to see, but Buckshot's blood puddle is actually getting bigger every time it's on screen, due to the drops coming out of his mouth. In 14 minutes 29 seconds, you can see Megatron reflected in Cadaver's eye. Because this was filmed more recently, I distinctly remember being influenced to present this moment as a standoff by this scene from The Bad Batch. But you know, that scene is inspired by other classic standoffs, so saying what it's a reference to is a little iffy in my head. Cadaver's eye lights up right before he pulls out his gun. From Cadaver pulling out his pistol to Megatron reaching Cadaver, all of this was heavily inspired by Episode 7's bridge scene from Arcane, Season 1. Megatron's spin into cutting off Cadaver's arm is based off of a move from God of War called Frost Rush. Cadaver's trigger finger was created by using a silver minifigure arm. In the script for Episode 5, this moment reads as follows.
Megatron watches Cadaver intensely, waiting for the fear to set in, like a teacher who angrily waits for the class to shut up instead of just saying it.
Man, shut your bitch ass up.
Fun fact, Cadaver is strangled for 33 seconds. Additionally, if you had some reason to play these 33 seconds over and over again, after 1 hour, it would have been played 109 times. After 6 hours, it would have been played 640 times. And if you really wanted to know, after 24 hours, the video of Cadaver choking would have been played 2,618 times. Cadaver's head falling on the ground is a reference to, and shares a sound with, Megatron's death in Dark of the Moon. As we finish up, let's take a second to appreciate that ragdoll, because damn, good job me, you surprised yourself just now. In case anyone didn't know or wasn't sure, yes, cadaver is another word for corpse, specifically one used for study or medical procedures. But yeah, the joke about his name is that he becomes one. Or he becomes a corpse. He dies is what I'm trying to say. Megatron standing in the rain is possibly one of my favorite shots in this episode, and is based on one of my favorite gifs. This scene from Halo Legends. The credit sequence was made like this so that it would be clear who played who. However, I like it so much, I might do it for every episode. What do you guys think? Finally, here is a count of every photo and video that went into the creation of this episode. 6,072 photos and 14 videos. Honestly, I was expecting higher. Were you expecting higher? Like, was that a letdown for anyone else, or is my sense of effort just really fucked up nowadays? Hello?